Greetings! Today we're going to have a look at this audiophile equipment which I purchased for $6. It is finished in racing red and racing black. Very attractive to look at. It has the many chrome highlights, the corner protectors, the latch, and other things, but as you may have guessed, it doesn't work. Oh, and it also has, of course, as you can see, the high-powered speakers in front built in for your convenience. Let's see what's inside. So pray tell, what's inside? It is a record player. Well, now that you've feasted your eyes on this, it looks kind of small, but it does actually play 45s, of course, and it has the adapter conveniently in its little place in here. That's why it was included and not lost. But it does play 33s too. It's just the right size for the record to be placed nut scratch against the back cover and give you glorious symphonic sound. The top cover doesn't come off. It doesn't have sliding hinges or anything like that, but it is far enough away to play bigger records. The biggest problem right now I found was there's no tone arm holder, so this thing was flopping around. Of course I furnished my own, but it also has a tone arm lift, very smooth. Takes about a millennium for the tone arm to come down, but it's there. And here is my temporary tone arm holder, so if the needle isn't destroyed by now, this will prevent it from getting destroyed. But what's wrong with it? Here's the back. Not same beautiful color scheme. The nice chromed hinges. It's got two RCA jacks, probably audio outputs. The USB Type B connector, and that's it. There's no separate power connector, so it must be getting its power through the USB. And also it's a USB turntable player, so you could hook this up to your PC and digitize your entire vinyl record collection. Well, let's have a look at the manufacturer's tag first, and then we will talk about what ails it. Here's the build plate. And yeah, it's a USB turntable player, if you can read that. Model number ASD-JW-CS04/turntable. Tells you it's a USB 2.0. And the system requirements are Windows 97, 98, 2000, ME, and Vista. So that dates this piece of equipment. And not much else on here. So, yeah. So what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it is I can't power it up, and I thought I looked at it pretty closely in the store. Seemed to be in one piece, but of course I missed the obvious. The USB jack is mangled. It's supposed to... Well, it has that it's supposed to have a plastic rectangle in the middle to guide the plug, and then a pair of contacts pointing, well, on top, and a pair of contacts on the bottom. And these were mashed together, actually, when I got it. So I guess the former owner stumbled over the USB plug, and, well, that's why it doesn't work. So the hope here is that all it is, it's a bad jack, and if we replace the jack, it will start working happily. So what we need to do is, I do not have a USB Type B jack in stock, so I need to go and rummage through a few boxes. And here's what I found in my box of parts boards. Right here's what we need. You can kind of see the stupid thing would focus, kind of, but it's got that white plastic rectangular guide in the middle, and then a pair of contacts on top and a pair of contacts on the bottom. And I'm not sure what the order is, but it's basically 5 volts ground, data plus, data minus. So what we need to do is remove it from here, but before doing that, we need to see if we can open up this wonderful device. I mean, this might be glued together for all I know, and which means you would never see this video, because if I'm going to have to take a hammer and chisel to it, I don't think that will be very enjoyable to watch. So let's take this guy apart, see what's inside. Well, it's got 4 screws here, which is a good thing, because they wouldn't use screws if this was glued, right? Well, don't make assumptions, right? We'll find out. But I'm just amazed at the beauty of this device. And I'm sure it'll sound better than it looks, especially with the economy of controls this has. It has a turning knob here. It says min-max, off, on. And then above it there are 2 LEDs, a green one that has a symbol of a battery on it, and a red one that says power on top of it. So I'll be damned, this thing has a battery in it. So you can take it with you for Wednesday night bowling and play your favorite records. So we're going to have to run battery tests, see how long this thing lasts. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. First, let's see if we even can get inside. Okay. Oh, it's moving. Well, let me see here. Oh, it's the resistance. Oops. I think I did something bad. Yeah, you can see it. I think I just ripped these 2 wires out. Okay. Okay, those were really short wires that went to the right side speaker here. Yeah, they're kind of short, so I don't even know how they soldered those wires in when they were assembling it, because if these wires are to reach over there, it's got to be like here. How did they get their hands underneath to solder in the wires? Well, anyway, so here's the board. We can see the back of the USB connector here. Let's take this board out and check to see if it actually, the pin spacing on the replacement I have, if that matches what's on here. And this thing, it's held in place by 1 screw that comes in from the outside in between the 2 RCA jacks, and there's nothing on this side. So if you're plugging something in, that whole board moves. We're probably going to have to reinforce this somehow. Nothing that half a pound of hot glue shouldn't be able to take care of, right? But yeah, let's get this thing out and see. Here's a board. I guess this is the interface board with a header that goes to another board underneath the turntable assembly, the jacks. And this is most likely a general purpose USB interface. And I can't see any traces of hot glue on this side. I'm really curious how the left side of this board is held in place here. I mean, this glue you see is basically holding the black plastic frame cover thingy in place, but there's only one screw on here, and that goes right here. So, well, as I said, hot glue is your friend. So let's have a look at what else is in there. It's the second PCB, most likely, I don't know, I guess this is the power amp, I take it, because the speaker wires are coming out from here. And don't really see anything else on here. Oh, well, there's a chip hiding under here, which I don't know. I mean, there's got to be some sort of a DC motor controller in here, unless that is all hardwired, because there's a switch where you can select the 33 or 45s over here. And that probably just has a resistor network that gives you a certain amount of voltage going to the motor. So there's no RPM control on here or anything fancy like that. And just like on the other board, there's a bunch of unpopulated things, spaces over here, which means that there's a higher, more capable model than this, believe it or not. Okay, we remove the bad jack, we remove the good jack, and put it in place of the bad jack. And I won't bore you with the details. By now you know how this works, but you should never forget to properly clean your desoldering nozzle before doing anything. You'd be surprised at how well it works afterwards. Except this one doesn't want to go in. Why? Did I have the wrong size? Nope. I have the wrong eyesight. Well, it's all clean. See you back. Yeah, interesting on the donor board. A co-branded ARM processor, both ST Micro and HP. So yeah, this thing definitely came off an HP inkjet printer. Good thing I saved it. So yeah, here's the old one. See, the pins are all there. I bent them back in place, but there's no way it's going to make proper contact. And this is what I removed from the donor board. If I show the proper side, and everything's in place here. And this should fit nice and dandy. Should. The back pins don't want to go in. Nothing wants to go in. Okay, let me fiddle with this and solder it in place. Good one. I was trying to put it back in into the HP board. So let's make sure this is a good one. Yes. And ooh, fit right in. Okay, now we can finally solder it and see if we fixed anything. So I extended the wires that I had ripped out from the right side speaker and attached them to the speaker over here. That should be good. Of course, now the wires running to this speaker are a few inches longer than the wires running to the other speaker. And, you know, with the sound of light and electrons wandering being that slow, let's see if I just created a reverb effect over here. I'm kidding, you don't have to comment on that. Here is the board reinserted. I didn't have to use hot glue because it turns out there was another screw over here that holds the board in from the inside, and then of course there's another screw on the outside that holds this in. So if I push on the connector, it's pretty secure in there, and everything seems to be in place. So let's put everything finally back together finally, and then see what it sounds like. Okay, we're all buttoned up. I got a USB charger transformer and plugged that into the back, into our newly repaired USB jack. So let's see what happens. And we're going to turn the power strip on, and the green light comes on. And I think what that means is it's charging the battery. And then when you turn this knob, the red light comes on, which basically supplies power to the turntable. And yeah, you can pick up the arm and it runs. It stops, and it also stops after it reaches a certain point here. So it's just nothing automatic in here. I did play around with it a little bit, and it was basically stopping too soon. It was stopping around here, so it was lopping off like the last, I don't know, 30 seconds of a record, which was kind of annoying, but I found a mechanical adjustment where you turn the screw underneath the turntable, and that makes it go, lets it play the whole record. All right, so let's hear it. But we have a big problem here because of the YouTube Intellectual Property Police, YIP for short. You can't play any copyrighted music. Now you may have heard, no, it's okay to play 5 seconds, 10 seconds, fair use says 30 seconds. It doesn't work that way. You're basically at the mercy of the YouTube algorithm, which decides whether you can play even 5 seconds or not. I once got nailed on that, and I lost my entire $3 royalty or ad revenue on that video, and I'm not going to lose those $3 on this, so I'm going to be really careful. So what I found is a demo record. It's actually a sound sheet that came in magazines, and it's just a demo. There's really, I don't think there's anything copyrighted on here, but I guess I'll find out. I was going to play this for you, a 45 I've had for a long time, but I can't. But I still need to put something underneath that sound sheet because otherwise it warps pretty badly. Let's see if it works. If I take the adapter and put it in, and then put this on top. Let's see how eccentric that is. Not too bad. All right, if I get nailed for this, it's all your fault. And I'm going to start a GoFundMe campaign to get my $3 back. But even though it's a 45 size record, it does say you need to play it back at 33 RPM. So let's see. Let's lift it up. It starts up. Here goes nothing. Say something.
Synthesizer modulated by voice.
This is the sound of an HD computer. It sounds unlike anything else. It makes keyboards talk, adds special effects, and you can even make it yourself.
White noise modulated by voice.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Synthesizer modulated by drums.
All right, enough of that. It does work. I've listened to it with real music, and it sounds okay. I mean, considering that it doesn't have very high quality speakers in it, it's a quick way. You just plug in the charger, and you can play your records. It does fit big records. I had one here. Let me bring a big one and put it on there so you can see how that works. So as you can see, I just stacked it on top, but it does work. But of course I can't play it. By the way, if anybody has ever listened to this record, comment below, because I think I'm one of the only 3 people in the world who's ever heard this. However, remember, this is supposed to have a battery, and it's telling me that if it's plugged into power, the green light over here is on, with a battery on top of it, so I guess it's charging the battery. So let us unplug the power. The green light, geez, you can't see that, but the green light is off. And now if I turn power on, the red light comes on, and it's playing off the battery.
Synthesizer modulated by voice.
This is the sound.
So I'm going to have to test this thing and see how long, once the battery's charged overnight, how long it lasts. But a fully portable record player for your viewing pleasure. Now I also tried hooking this up to a computer through the USB port, and it is recognized as a sound interface where you can digitize your vinyl records. So I guess I'll be doing that for the next 3 years, and when I come back, maybe the copyright laws have changed and I can play them for you. But other than that, I think the repair was successful, and it's kind of a neat piece of equipment that I'll probably spend the rest of the night listening to. I have a few hundred singles that I'm going to listen to, and then it's probably going to get packed away. But at least it's alive, and it got saved from the landfill. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up would be appreciated. Comment would also be appreciated, and all the other good stuff. And we'll see you next time.